Good morning to all of you. Welcome to our Thursday Namaste session. We begin in quiet today. Today is our day of silence here at Namaste. We changed it from Wednesday to Thursday this week because there was a little bit going on yesterday that we wanted to participate in. In fact, I want to begin this morning with a few words that you may recognize, spoken by an extraordinary young woman that many of us met yesterday, named Amanda Gorman. This is what Amanda shared. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it, for there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it. Isn't that beautiful? Listen to it one more time. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it, for there is always light if we're only brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it. Amanda Bloom, I'm sure you know, is the youth poet laureate of the United States, and she read the most beautiful prayer and poem during Joe Biden's inauguration. And I think for many people, it was the highlight of the entire ceremony because her light and her radiance was so bright. This young woman who just exploded like a sun and showed us who we really are, the light that we can claim this moment, that she's so clearly claimed. And there was such hope I felt in the whole ceremony, but in particular in that moment when she read her poem. And it just came to me this morning, read that last part, just that last part, about how we are aflame and unafraid. Isn't that something that we talk about so often here? That we need to be set on fire with this desire, this flame of holiness and grace, to let it burn away everything that we are not. All of those illusory ideas that we've claimed, which were never real. Hold on one moment. Sorry about that. And that's what we're doing. That's what we're claiming. That's what we're allowing to shine through. All we're really doing is taking off the armor. We thought that the armor was to keep things from coming this way, but ultimately that armor that we've been wearing has been to keep things from going this way, to keep the light from shining out from us. What would happen if we allowed that sun at the core of our being to shine bright so that the whole world might see it? Well, that's what we experienced yesterday with Amanda. She had no armor. There was nothing blocking that light at the core of her being. There was nothing that was stopping that radiance. What would our lives be like if we did the same? If we lay aside that armor, we took it off and just threw it onto the ground and said, no, I choose, resolutely choose to be the light of the world. And as Jesus said, you don't light a fire and then put it under a bushel basket. You light it from the top of a hill so that everyone may see it. Not that they may marvel at you, the image of you, but the light itself. Because the flame within me is the same flame that's within you. Did you ever notice how fire is always the same? You could light a candle and that flame is going to be the same as it is in another part of the world. Just as the light within you is the same. is the light within each one of us, because there is only one light. There's only one extension of that radiance, and it's you. So someone like Amanda Gorman comes along and in such a beautiful, radiant way shows us who we are. Once again, when day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. Isn't that what we're doing right now? We're stepping into the light, out of the shade. We're claiming it. We're saying yes to that light. We're taking off that armor. We're not trying to block it in either direction, especially the direction that extends, because it is through our extending that we are most like our Creator. Our Creator only extends, and only extends as what it is: wholeness, perfect love. And when we enter into that same extension, when that extension is our only goal, our only purpose, to extend as God extends, the light that is at the core of our being, by beginning to take that armor off, then we, as she says here, become brave enough to see it and brave enough to be it. So I thought that just these few lines from Amanda's poem yesterday would be a beautiful place for us to begin today, because it inspires us to allow this radiant extension sorry about that hay fever. It allows us that extension. And what are we extending? Only the truth of who we are, and the truth of who we've always been. The truth that you can't stop being even if you try. No matter how hard you try, you can deny it and you can dim it, but you can never shut off that light, because it's who you are. So let it shine. Don't hold back anymore. Take off that armor. Remember, we thought we were trying to block something from coming in, but the truth is we've been trying to block what was going out, the extension of our radiance. There's no more need for that. There was never a need for it, but now you see that. Now you realize that the only goal you have is to extend that light just as your Creator does. So I'm going to keep it short today, because I don't want anything to really dampen or complicate that simple message. Just allow your light to shine. And you allow your light to shine simply by loving everything and everyone, no matter what. By seeing the light and the Christ within them, no matter what they see or how they portray it. It doesn't matter. The only responsibility you have is to see that light and to extend that grace. Just as Amanda Gorman did yesterday. So, Vicky, if you're out there, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay, Jimmy. And blessed hay fever. Hope it passes quickly.
Just a
But
time, season of the time, or whatever it is.
yeah, wins the award for best costume of the day. She was the sunshine, the bright, bright yellow that she spoke of. She was the message,
When you
but
beat
her
Lady
joy was.
Gaga, when you beat Lady Gaga in that department,
I
that's
know, right? Yeah, and J Lo, white. I love the all white,
J-Lo was
but she
amazing,
was,
wasn't she?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But this little girl was a ray of light. This little girl, in her sweet innocence and her determination and her simplicity and her passion, she was that fire, and she dressed for the fire. But so what's the armor? What is the armor? What's the armor? Nothing but our judgments of each other. And it's what you just ended with: loving without exception. That's when we're the fire. When we love without exception, that is what fire is. The fire of our oneness, holy oneness, our divinity, whatever we call it. That experience shows up as love. That's what extending is. It's just loving without any outcome, without any need for it to be returned or recognized. But the way I see that I've covered it up in my own life through the years, all this undoing and healing work has been around seeing where my exceptions are. To love without exception means I have to pay attention to where my exceptions are. To love Donald Trump without exception, to love all of the radicals in every direction. I don't even know their names, but in every direction, not because of their costume or their script or their programs, but because of the soul that we are in our oneness. To see past all of that, wherever the exception is my own blind spot. And it's the place I refuse to shine or refuse to give and extend. And the way I guess that I'm most vigilant is to stay honest and to stay present, to stay honest where I'm judging and where I'm kidding myself and not do that anymore. Not let myself get away with it. Not because everyone in the world agrees on this or agrees on that, but because there's no agreement except the agreement about holy oneness that deserves my attention. And when I see myself falter, it's a big oops, drop, quick, go to your bed, quick, take to your bed and get the correction. But that's the only armor I know, the armor of judgment, of deceit, of kidding ourselves, of not being present. Because if we're present, all we are is that light that wants to love. There's nothing to learn about it. It goes into automatic. We are the natural love of our creator. And we are that naturally, even here in time, if we drop the armor of judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Love without exception. That's it.
That is it. And it's so simple. It may seem difficult because we become so well practiced at doing the opposite, but it really is simple. Just to drop it. Drop the, and just notice when we fall into that trap because we're going to, I'm going to, we're all going to. But to notice it and, like you say, go to your bed and just hold still for a moment and ask for help and ask for guidance and remember what you really want. Remember that your only real goal is to be the light of the world by seeing the light of the world everywhere, no matter what. So beautiful. Thank you, Vicky.
Thanks, Jimmy. Thank you, everyone.
How about Teddy? Is he there with you or is he back at the house? You want to share anything, Teddy? Teddy, you out there? Let me take a quick peek. I guess Teddy is not here today. All right. Let's
He's
hit
waiting for the roofer, Jimmy. Sorry.
the roof again. Okay. Let's slip over here to Namaste. Who would like to share anything outside the wall? Good morning, everyone. So, who was inspired? I know that you guys were all watching the inauguration. Who was inspired by either what Amanda shared or anything else? Who would like to share that inspiration? Come on up, Bonnie.
Good morning, everybody. Is this on? No. Good morning. Ah, I was truly inspired with the poem that was read. It was so beautifully done with rhyme and such authenticity and hope. And Joe Biden's speech that he made just really, it just gave me hope that with compassion and forgiveness and taking care of each other and sharing our love and sharing our light, that we can really change what's going on here in the world.
Yeah.
And with that we change ourselves, we become more loving and more joyful and peaceful. And I think it's a simple thing, as you say. It's just using each moment with your smile, with your eyes, acknowledging the person in your presence. And if something's coming up, then just choose forgiveness. And just take it one moment at a time and just be the light and stay with faith and hope and know that we are the light. We're changing the world and it's getting better. And that's all I got to share.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Thank you.
You know, one of the other things that inspired me yesterday, I don't know how many of you saw the big extravaganza at the end of the night with all the different musicians who sang, and it was hosted by Tom Hanks. It was really something if you didn't see it. And then there was an enormous firework, probably the biggest firework display ever over Washington, D.C. But the thing that really inspired me, remember, it's always about the joining. It's all about the coming together with a single intention, which is what we do here every day. So there was a moment in the evening presentation where Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, and George W. Bush came together, and you could see these people really care for one another. And they were there for a single purpose, to join and to support this new administration. And it was so inspiring because obviously George, and he comes from a different party than Barack and Bill, and yet you could see that there was this deep love. It reminds me that Bill Clinton, who was a major political rival of George Bush Sr., who defeated him in the election, became what they often called his other son. They became so close. George Bush was like Bill Clinton's father. It just reminds us that it's in the laying aside of the grievance, laying aside our disagreements, realizing that they mean nothing, and joining, coming together in a single intention. I thought that was really inspiring to have the two of them come together. Okay. Anyone else said namaste? Want to share anything?